soulful feast, bite-sized information to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. I'm Stephanie Zubiri, and today we're going to be having a bit of a saucy conversation about dating because frankly, it's a space that I'm not so comfortable with. I have been lucky to meet people through friends and mga meet cute, but online dating, never. So we are here today with an expert and super happily ever after love story, Joelle of Paano Kung Podcast. Hi, Joelle.
Hi. Well, thank you for allowing me to enter this beautiful space.
Oh my gosh, no, it's my pleasure. It's so when I heard about your story, it's so exciting because I think I've only heard of like disasters from online dating.
Valid. Yes.
Wala yung parang happily ever after. So let's share a little bit with my audience about like your background
Okay, so
and your love story.
Well, I was actually, I think it was because of that. A lot of people don't think na you'd be able to find someone you would actually marry on the dating apps. I was on and off dating apps for about siguro 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
And I didn't expect much from it either, just because I did meet so many people there. Great stories or
Okay.
great lessons.
Mamaya na yun. Gusto ko yun. Juicy.
But I guess, when the thing that's right for you you'll never miss that.
Yeah.
So that happened. We matched twice.
Oh, that's so cute.
Mhm.
Okay.
The first time that we matched, I always call that as like my peak Landi era. So
Okay.
we didn't end up meeting because I was just talking to so many different people. I think it was just sige bahala na, whatever, I'll just chat, and then that was exhausting definitely.
Yes. Okay, wait. Sidebar ko. My peak Lindy era was in IRL. IRL. Like,
I love that. No,
Hindi mo.
yes. I always
Different
recommend
people.
talaga.
Walang chatting.
It's fun.
It was a date every night or sa nightclub.
So it was a mix of that. I was swiping while also going to like
Love it.
Makati Poblacion para pumarty lang, just to see what's out there and get to
Okay.
know myself as well. So recommending talaga. We highly recommend the Peak Landi era if you want.
Correct. Yes.
So it was just like a few exchanges, and he would always say na sininzone ko siya nun. Kasi wala na. We didn't chat at all. I was like, hi, question. And then I replied, and then after that, it was gone.
No. Yeah.
We matched again at the height of the pandemic, siguro mga September 2020.
Okay.
And that was when I was more intentional na with the people I would talk to. I realized then very quickly that it's exhausting to be
Of
like
course, yes.
keeping up with different chats and being like, sino nga ba to ulit? Never mind. So mga 1 to 2 people na lang yung in my roster at the time. And I guess I was also just more intentional with the conversations I would make. So yeah, that was the peak of the pandemic, and at the time I would do errand dates.
Yeah.
And we met in the most like unglamorous space, which at that point for me, ayoko na eh. I was like, I'm done impressing people. Take me for who I am. This is it. So that was like my birthday. Around my birthday, I was like gonna go grocery shopping.
Okay.
Tapos sabi ko sa kanya, hey, you wanna come? You wanna meet na? Because we've been talking for a bit, and we seem to have a lot of common friends anyway. He didn't seem like a creep. So I was like, oh sige, let's meet up in the grocery
Yeah.
na. Samahan mo na ako. And
Love
then
it. Grocery date. So wholesome.
yeah, and it's also a great way talaga for like first dates as well, just because like it removes the pressure to perform a certain way, and if they don't show up, well, you've got important things to do anyway.
Mag-grocery na lang.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that was fun too. From there, we just kept talking and talking, and it felt like a very intentional relationship where we were very clear with each other with what we wanted. And that's also how I was able to grow my platform on TikTok and eventually creating my podcast as well, because I shared that we met online, and
Yeah.
people were like, there was this one particular comment who was like, sana all may success sa Bumble, I'm about to
Yeah.
give up, ganyan. And then
So,
yeah.
okay, I have a question, or maybe it's more of like an insight and you
Mhm.
can, answer to it. Is it less so much about how you met them, but the intentionality? Because,
Mm.
right, dating apps exist. Before dating apps, it was whatever. blind dates or
Yeah.
meeting people in a club or meeting people in a bar or even
Mm-hmm.
meeting people in a workspace.
Yeah.
When you're in your super Landi era or give zero fucks era or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, the intention is different
That's true.
versus when you were like, okay, I'm going to embark on this journey with more intentionality. Do you think that kind of shifted also um, the energy around you and the openness that you had to finding true love?
Yes, no, for sure. Because like I think so many people are kind of more accepting of meeting people online, but there's still
Yes.
some who have these these like set judgments, and I'm like, it's just a platform,
Yeah.
it's just a tool, and I think it's hugely that how you believe you want to receive and experience love and
Yeah.
relationships. It's just gonna be a huge reflection as well. And I did have to go through massive healing as well during the pandemic when everything was closed, and trying to figure out also what I believe that I like deserve when it comes to love and
Yes.
all those things. So definitely came
Absolutely.
at that time.
So, okay. Now, let's go back to the crazy Landi era. If there are people out there like going through Bumble and
Yeah.
going through these dating apps, like, what are some of the craziest stories that you've had that people can learn from? Sabi mo, madaming learnings. Ano yung learning?
I think my favorite thing about meeting different people and not being so and kind of just like casting this and bahala na, it's you get to know what you want and what you don't want. You
Okay.
also get to learn how to like decide also for yourself. You also get to know for yourself. Now
Yeah.
you think you want this certain type of person, and and you keep kind of, you're always drawn to this particular like type, and always wondering why doesn't it work out, what is wrong with me, parang yun lagi yung mangyayari na
Wait
parang
lang. Sidebar. Sa
yeah.
lahat ng mga interviews today, guys, puro the question is, what is wrong with me?
Honor.
Right? Yeah, it's always a question, right? It's always
Yeah.
about us, really.
Which is, I mean, I guess that's an entry point, right? Because you're
Yeah.
questioning, what can I do about it? I guess maybe we can shift there, no? Na instead of blaming ourselves, what can we do instead about it, no? But yeah, for sure, if everyone that you meet that seem to like you but not enough to like pursue something deeper, you'd be like, bakit ayaw niya? Anong meron?
So I have a question. Okay, so when you're on a date, I've actually never opened a dating app. So
Oh
I have
my
no
gosh.
idea what that looks like, right? So when you're on a dating app or even just like living in the world of social media, parang before you even meet the person in person, my picture ka na, my description, you can already pass judgment. Is
Mm-hmm.
that difficult? Because like for me, when I would meet someone, it was like, I don't even know anything about you, but there's chemistry.
Right.
Then they can surprise you. Like there's this element of mystery
Mm-hmm.
that, at least for me, I find attractive. Like
Yeah.
there's stuff that we can discover. Sometimes too late na discover mo, ay, puro red flags pa.
Yeah.
But it's part of the journey, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like, sometimes with dating apps or with social media, like you haven't even met the person.
You can
You
stalk
already
them
have
already.
a judgment already, right?
Yeah, and you can stalk all the way back their
Correct.
tagged photos, yung mga ex
Correct.
nila, ganun.
Yeah.
There is that available information.
Yeah. So how does that parang play in the, like when you meet them, parang like, oh, I know na everything about it. You know what I mean?
Right, right. I think, well, it's important din kasi for safety, especially since it's on the internet. There are times when you have no common circles at all.
Okay.
So like the safety, I guess, of what you would have in real life meeting friends, or at least within your same circles, parang kahit papaano, maybe some people will vouch for it, but then there would be the mystery there. Like, it's easy to post these types of photos. Okay, it's these things that you can see, but then it's something that they can curate as well, and there are
Mhm.
things on social media that you won't necessarily see, so
True.
there are still a lot of things to discover as well. But what also happens is, if you were asking earlier then about like crazy stories, like it's happened before where they look cute on their photos, but then when you're there, they're like, wait, asan na yung kadate ko? Shucks, hindi ko siya
Oh my
makita.
God.
Oh
Can
no.
I just share? Okay, so this is like way back when, guys. This
Uh-huh.
is MSN chat and
Oh, wow.
ICQ. That's how old I am.
Oh my
Mga chat
gosh.
room, chat group, na whatever.
Mhm.
Na pang chat lang, walang photo talaga.
Right.
Like, so there is, I'm so sorry to this person. I really am. But like we were chatting online,
Mhm.
tapos parang happy siya, tapos cute. And then I went with my friends to like EB
Okay.
eyeball.
Oh my gosh, Evie.
I know, we were super young. We went to the mall. And then when we saw the guy, ay, hindi siya guwapo. I left. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I did. I was like, he looks older. And he's like, parang this is not what I meant.
It's fine. Oh my gosh. I'm glad
Yeah,
you
I
did
really
it.
feel bad if you are listening. I really apologize. It's super mean. But I was also very young. I was like, wala, 14, 15 no? So, was super young talaga.
Parang safer naman for you
Oh,
to do that
correct naman. Pero
kung
I
much
felt
older.
so bad. Parang, I don't think he was much older, but parang teens yun siya, pero hindi talaga siya gwapo. So parang like, oh my God. I was like, oh, that's so me. I apologize. Yes, I'm sorry. And then, can I tell you, this the
Mhm.
crazy karma talaga.
Oh no.
So what happened was, sometime after, or many years after, mga 5, 7
Mhm.
years after, I'm lining up in an embassy and we're getting a visa
Mhm.
and siya yung nandun. Alright.
Wow.
He's like, hi, Steph. Do you remember me? We would chat before, but you never showed up to
He
our.
knew who you were though. Bakit siya
He
he
knew
had
kasi parang, I think we had some friends in common then. It wasn't like
Oh.
total
Okay, okay,
stranger
okay.
naman.
How was that? Oh my gosh, what did
Die.
you do?
I'm like, I'm so sorry. I was so young. I was like so stressed and
The young
whatever.
card.
The young
Sorry, I
card.
didn't know any better.
But would you believe, like, almost 10 years later, applying for a visa.
Yeah.
And siya yung nandun. Kasi diba, halfy siya. I won't give na the nationality
Mhm,
para
mhm.
we don't know who. Stays anonymous. And then siya yung nag-approve ng visa.
At least approved.
Yeah, at least approved.
Could have been petty and be like, ghoster ka
I
pala.
know. Oh my God. But yes, anyway, at least now my pictures and,
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I think it would have been, it's still fine. I know you may have felt bad about that. That you could have like communicated it better.
Of course.
But
of
then I think it's
course.
also important to be able to know when to leave as
And
well,
to feel
no?
safe. I think that's really
Yeah.
important.
Especially
Yeah.
at that age then. Because
Yeah.
there were like particular events na ako as a people pleaser at the time, I would just sit through the dates and be like, I wanna get out of here na. And just be like, I just borrow it up and just wala na yung pa-cute, tinapon ko na just to be like, oo, sige, tapusin
Oh
lang
my God.
natin
So you
to.
would really sit through the date?
I would.
Wow.
So then I would share na, guys, if you wanna go, just leave.
go.
Don't you don't have to. You don't owe
Yeah.
them anything. Yeah, you don't have to protect their feelings either. And especially like
Yes.
being a woman, but then we still want to be safe then and
Correct,
make sure,
correct.
especially since it's open to anyone.
Yeah. So one of my rules actually when I was like single and going out and meeting people, or when I was on a date, like, and at that time, date with like somebody you met that's like yung bartender. Okay, so you have no idea who they are. And
Right.
walang social media yan. So like for me, my rule was pay your own way as a woman, because then you don't feel obliged, or they don't
Yes.
feel entitled in any way because they took you out or whatever. I
That's
would
true.
always pay my own way. I never let the guy pay for me until mga ilang dates that I was sure that, okay, I will give up a little bit of my power and let you, take care of me. But for
Right.
me, it's like, no, I'm the type, cute ka, I will buy you a drink. Diba? Like
Power
that.
move, let's
Yeah,
go.
that's
I
me.
love
It's like, I like you. You're cute. I'll buy you a
that.
drink. And then they
Oh
get
my
stressed. But okay.
Kind of shatters their
Yeah, it's
expectations.
like, you don't own me. I own you. No, just kidding.
I love
But yeah,
that.
so I think like, especially here in the Philippines, there's a lot of conversation about women like, oh, he has to pay, he has to
Yep.
treat you right. No, girl, your power is you being financially independent so that you can leave whenever you want, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. That was a whole conversation. The whole split seats. If you're gonna split a bill on the first date, if a guy
Correct.
should pay. But I also think that it's like it's not a big. It shouldn't be a big deal anymore unless you're there for the free meals. Because people would do that, go on dates for the free
It's so
meals.
sad. Kawawa naman.
Transactional lang, kumbaga. But yeah, there's power in being able to to be like, I know this. You don't owe me anything because you're paying
Yeah,
for this. Yeah.
exactly. So, okay, let's talk about today. So, you're married. How long have you been
Oh
married?
my gosh, it's a little over so 8 months. Or
8 months.
about eight
I
months.
love it.
Yeah.
How's it like?
It's been fun so far. What I always say, I mean, I'm sure there's still a lot of things that we're gonna learn about ourselves and about each other, but it's helped a lot for me that we lived together already earlier on.
Yes.
So, there's
There's
still a
no
huge
shock.
there's
Yeah.
still a huge conversation about that. Na parang should you live together before marriage and all of these and all of that stuff. But then I think when I think okay.
Yeah.
I think when I guess at a certain age na yun where you kind of know what you want as well and you're very intentional about it, that helps then okay, let's get the hard conversations out there as well.
Absolutely. I highly encourage. I know it's quite controversial in this country, but I highly encourage living together
Mhm.
because that's where you get to know like the everyday. And some of
Yes.
it is the make or break stuff. Once you start paying bills, not like pa-cute living in that you'll sleep over, but once you start paying bills
Mhm.
together every day in, day out, sharing chores and whatever, that's when you really see if you have the same values, if
Yeah.
you have the same ways of working. Can you make it work? Because maybe you can't. Maybe there are mga deal breakers that
So
don't,
small
yeah,
things
that
also.
don't show up. So I love Esther Perel. I don't know if you're familiar with her. Okay, she's a
No.
wonderful like Belgian relationship therapist. And she was talking about how, in the past generations, marriage was a cornerstone. So it's a cornerstone of a relationship. You had to get married before you
Mm.
could live in together. You had to get married before you could have a life together and a business or like a partnership. And you
Mhm.
had to get married before you have children.
Right.
And nowadays, marriage is a capstone, meaning
Ah.
no, you don't need to be married to live in. You don't need to be married to have a child.
Mhm.
You choose to be married. That's why incidences of divorce in younger generations are lower because they allow themselves the freedom to sort of like experiment and things like that. At least in the Western world, parang there's less divorce among younger generations because they don't feel
Mm.
pressured to get married. Sige, we'll have a kid. Okay, well, okay, let's move in together.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we'll build a business together. Okay.
Right.
Then later on na lang, they'll get married.
Yeah. And well, I think that's also something to consider here as well in the
Mm-hmm.
country where divorce isn't legal yet.
Yes, yeah.
So there's a growing conversation around it. Now, we want to be extra sure if we're gonna be getting married because wala pang divorce here.
Yeah.
And you don't wanna be stuck then in a place where you can't leave as well, right?
And I think the age of getting married here is also a lot older now. Parang
Yes.
when I was 25, like, oh my God, you're like magiging old maid.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah.
crazy to think of now. Like at
Yeah.
25 pa lang, parang what you've only been an adult for like how many years pa lang?
Yeah. Amazing, right? Like the
Yeah.
shift in the age of the marrying age,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
what is your most preoccupying paano kung at this moment in your life?
Ooh. Oh my gosh. Actually, that's gonna be the paano kung I'll ask you when we go on. My paano kung question in life is something I'm kind of gonna be asking you later for when I
Okay.
guessed you, which is great. But I think what's been kind of clouding my head over the last couple of months is after the wedding, parang what's next for me? It's more of that just because it's been a huge milestone. I feel like I've opened a new chapter. And for I'm 33 na rin kasi. And then I missed a lot of the supposed milestones na dapat ma-hit mo by ganito, you should get married, have kids and stuff like that, right? So when all of that's been out the window and I'm like, I can do anything now. So what do I do next? Parang ganun siya
How
for me. It's
exciting.
it's
Oh,
exciting and
it's
scary.
beautiful.
Jumping in between those.
Yeah. No, but honestly, it's like, you know, who said that there are those milestones and timestamps to those milestones, right?
Exactly.
Like it's all BS. It's all like
Mm-hmm.
throw it out. You get to set your own timeline,
Yeah.
right? And I think a lot of brides maybe feel that also, and that's where the pressure to have a child comes
Yes.
in.
Oh
And
gosh.
frankly, like you really have to drown that noise out because only you and your partner, your husband can decide when that time is ready.
Yeah, it's crazy because like I knew it was coming, those questions, because I've been plagued with, oh, kailangan na magpapakasal for a while. And then after I got married, oh, may laman na ba yan? Kailan na? I'm
Ah,
like, wait lang,
there we
can't I
go.
just enjoy this
Yes,
first?
for sure. And you should because, you know, so someone told me before that having a baby, you will know when you're ready to have a baby. When you feel the parang, okay, you and I, it's not that we're not enough. We just want more together. So parang someone told me that it's like that's the right time to have a baby as a couple. And for as long as you don't have that feeling that you want more together, then you should be happy that you guys fill each other's cups, right? And I think what happens is there's a lot of young couples who get this pressure to get married and have kids. Actually, we had a great podcast, guys. If you didn't listen to it, with Vern and Cecil Lim, who really talks about super pressuring herself to the point of um, destroying her own health and mental well-being to have a child by a certain age, and that it even put so much friction on her relationship with her husband, when it was so unnecessary. She's like, I have naman so much time. She's like, I'm so grateful I have my baby now, and at that time she was still pregnant and she has a very beautiful happy baby boy. But parang at that time it was like, why? I have naman time and we're happy naman together. So forcing the issue when you guys are still really enjoying each other's company might actually hurt your
That's
relationship.
true.
So relish
Right.
it lang, diba, for
Mm-hmm.
now.
Yeah. So that's something I also remind myself as well. And I guess trying to figure out as well, like this new era of my life as a wife, and also still while not losing myself as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's it is a big, it's a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot to navigate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, okay. So how about this? Let's wrap up our conversation with, if someone is afraid to put themselves out there, and I think that's what's so brave and admirable with you, you're not afraid to put yourself out there. And
Mm-hmm.
look, you got rewarded with like this beautiful love story. So, if someone is listening right now and they're kind of afraid to put themselves out there, what is your advice for them today?
What I always get is people who are always afraid of like heartbreak. That's the reason why people don't
Mm.
like to put themselves out there. They're afraid they'd get hurt. They're afraid that they'd embarrass themselves or rejection. It's all those things. And I always just believe that if you want a great love, then you have to go through like these great lengths. Not really like sacrifice and put yourself through shit. I thought I had to do
Yeah.
that. No need. No need to go through that. But at least to dream big and to trust yourself as well, that you will be able to have that if you believe as well that it's out there.
Yeah.
And the hurt, it's part of the
It's
great
part of
love.
it.
You love
Yes.
anyone you love. When the time comes that we're done with this earth, or if a certain situation pulls us apart, like there will always be some type of rupture that will still break our heart, and that's because we love.
Yes.
And I think if we just know that it's part of it, then maybe we wouldn't be so afraid to just put ourselves out there, because there's so much more to see.
I love that. That's so beautiful. And it's really like, when I was younger, I used to read these stories. Like, I love books. Like, I'm super nerdy. And these mga Wuthering Heights and Heathcliff and like,
Oh.
I'm gonna die without you stories,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
And like, I thought that those great loves only existed in the books and in the movies,
Mm-hmm.
but it exists in real life.
Yeah, oh
You
my
just
gosh.
have to allow yourself to feel. And I think a lot of us don't get the great love that we want is because we don't allow ourselves to feel that despair that comes from when you're not with your great love.
Oh yeah, that
And it's
too.
like there's this like pain of I just oh my gosh, I can't live without you. And that's your soulmate. And we can't be afraid of that because it's really part of it and it really exists. And if you allow yourself and tell yourself, I'm not afraid of that, and I am allowed to really feel and to break those barriers down, that great love will come for you and sweep you off your feet and, right across the moors of Wuthering Heights.
Yeah, however, like you'd want to
With
be
your
a
corset
sweat.
and
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. Like it's there. Oh, I don't know. Also, if like you watched Nobody Wants This yet? It's
No,
so
I
like
have
so
not. I
trending
know
on
it's super
Netflix
trending
now.
right now.
Oh my gosh, my mom was crying. We've been like super killing watching it over the weekend
Oh,
then,
I
and it's
love
just
it.
so beautiful and it's so real. And I think the reason why so many people are just loving it as well is because it's so raw and people are just laying out their feelings, which I'd like to think that people are kind of learning now that there are great things after you lay out your feelings.
I think absolutely. I think there's just been so many decades and generations of people masking their shadow selves, and that
Yes.
there's a real embracing of our flaws. And when we meet someone where they're at with their flaws, then you can have a true deep connection, right?
And it's so good. It's just so wonderful. It's so
Yeah.
expansive as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know. Exciting, right? Parang kinikilig din ako.
Ang ganda nun, di ba? And
I know. Let's go. Where are you?
that's how you know it, no? No, parang like
Yeah.
there's just so much love that like it's overflowing towards anything and everyone you meet as well. No, parang it's out there. I think people are afraid din na mauubos siya.
And you know what, as well, even if it doesn't work out, the fact that you felt that way and know that you can feel that way again, and you know that that's the only type of love I want in my life, then go. I mean, then you know that it exists, right? Like for me, it was like, so when I met my partner now, Scott, and it was like when we started our love story, it's like, well, I now know that this kind of love exists. So even if it doesn't work out with us, I know that this is what I want. And I won't settle for anything less. Diba? So parang it's like it exists and it's real pala, not just like in the books.
Gosh, you know
right?
what, Steph? That was exactly what I said to myself as well when I met my when I met my then boyfriend at the time and we were together. It was so early on, and I was like, I'm not sure if this will, how long this will last. I don't know. We never know for sure. But like what I do know is if it ends, I'll be fine. One, because lahat naman ng heartbreak, I have survived 100%. So I know I'll be okay. I'll cry for sure, but we'll be fine. But also it's like, may ganito palang love and it's
Yes.
there and we can find it again because it's like us naman. We're part of that as well.
Yeah, you co-create it, right? Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Joelle. Exciting. Oh my gosh. Go out there and fall in love.
Yes, let's
Ito
go.
na. Go. Put yourself out there. Heartbreaks. Kiss all the frogs. You'll
Yes.
find the prince.
Mhm.
Or not the prince. Maybe you're the prince. That's okay.
That's true too,
But,
yeah.
thank you so much. This is so special. How can people reach out to you?
Yeah, well, I am pretty much everywhere online at Joelle Owell, everywhere on TikTok and Instagram. I talk about all the paano kungs in life there, about Landi, love and self-love as well. And I also have a podcast, Paano Kung, where it's all there. Parang longer version naman ng mga TikToks ko as well.
Love it. Thank you so much, Joelle. And thank you guys for listening. So if there's one takeaway right now that I want you guys to do is to remind yourself that love is out there and you deserve it and you deserve to fall in love. But you know what? It starts with falling in love with yourself first, right? Mga self-love girlies here in the house. Yes. So it starts with falling in love with yourself and then the rest will follow. So thank you guys. It's been a pleasure. Stephanie Zubiri for Soulful Feast, bite-sized information to nourish your body, mind, and spirit. Nakilig ako.
Busog.
Nakilig. Oh my God.